and say, but bro, I didn't do that. I wasn't sleeping with all these women. I wasn't, they was going after a certain type of man. I wasn't. So you know what you should have done? Instead of going to women and telling them, hey bro, just stop letting them have sex with you. Which wasn't effective, right? Clearly. You should have went to the men and say, hey bro, if you just want sex, my nigga, it's motherfuckers selling sex, bro. You can go just buy that shit. It's sex workers you can get it from. But can you leave the women that want to be wives alone so that we can be husbands for them? Y'all didn't do that. Y'all didn't do that. Y'all don't hold other men accountable. Well, that's a grown man. What am I supposed to tell? Well, stop trying to tell grown women shit too.
All right. So I wanna cut through your parable, right? So you gave a parable, obviously the cow being a young woman and the farmer being a man, right? I feel like the flaw in your parable would be what used to work was there was a farmer standing there with that cow, so other farmers couldn't take advantage of the cow, right? But we ain't on that no more, because with my body, my choice, the women get the freedom to do what they want to with the sexual liberation, right? What you said, second wave feminism. They get the autonomy of their body, so they don't have to get approval from their parents with who they deal with, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? All that shit cool. But also later on in the video, right, you talked about these good men and marriage-minded men, right? How they want something too. But you get into these bags where you telling the good men that they need to correct the bad men, right? I really want to know from you, what are the good men supposed to do outside of telling them, hey, what you're doing ain't cool, man. You shouldn't treat the women like that. You should marry that sister, man. You should do this, and that, right? If he don't listen to his parents, he not listening to us, and he's still getting what he want from the women, what are we supposed to do for that? What's the course of action? Because to my understanding, everybody's free to do what they want to do, right? That's what the women fought for. They fought for the agency of their sexuality. They fought to be able to do as they please, right? So if they are allowing men to sample them, right? Because we're not going to act like it's not a 50-50 shot in terms of she can either deal with a good man that's looking for marriage, or she can deal with the bad man that's trying to sample, right? The question would be, why wouldn't she just deal with the marriage-minded man first? That's the question. Because she has the ability, it's in her control on who she deal with. So if, let's just say, both of them coming at the same time, we're not going to sit here and act like these men are not out here in the market at the same time. So if the marriage-minded man is not being chosen, but the sampler is getting the sample, whose fault is that? Because it looks real, what they say today, they sound like some hater shit, right? Because if I'm not getting what I want, right? I wanted the sister, I wanted to marry the sister, but she was letting Tyrone over here sample, right? But now I'm trying to tell Tyrone how wrong he is as a man to be treating her like that. His response to me is, nigga, she didn't want you either, right? Because if she chose him over me and he sampled, what do I look like speaking to him about how he treating her? When she could have just been dealing with me the whole time. That's the question that you got to answer. If the good men are not getting what they want, why would the bad men listen to us? If the men on one side saying, I'm not doing none of that, I just want to smash, that's it. No, I need to sample, I need to test drive. I got a video, I think my very first TikTok, one of my very early TikToks was me checking a man about talking about he need to test drive a woman sexually before he commit to her. I'm explaining how that's a dumb mindset. I just dropped the video like a couple of days ago on my YouTube. How men are complaining about body count while they're actively adding body counts. You done added a body to multiple women, but at the same time, you want a woman without a body count. But this the problem. I can't force these women not to let these men smash. That's not, the women. The women gave up that. They didn't want nobody to protect them from these niggas, man. The women didn't want nobody to be over them. The women they wanted the autonomy. They didn't want the protection from the men. The men was gonna stand there and say, hey, bro, no, bro, you a bad dude, move around. You ain't got no job, you ain't got no house, huh? You ain't got no upward trajectory in your life. You can't deal with my daughter, you can't deal with my sister, bro. Move around. But nah, the women didn't want that. The women wanted to have the freedom to do what they wanted to do. So now, instead of a man being in place, because that's what you really asking for. You asking for men to protect the women from these bad dudes. When the men that was going to be there for her around the clock, that she can really call on, her brother, her father, her uncles, her granddad, all these men were supposed to instill something in her and be there as a buffer. So when this man come around, he's like, hey, no, I peep dude right there, he a liar. He don't even got no job. I see him around the corner, he got a baby mom. Nah, he out the damn picture. Nah, he off the list. We ain't doing that. Because what you asking for is for the men to protect them. They didn't want to deal with that protection. They didn't want their fathers and their brothers and their uncles looking out for them. They wanted the ability to pick and choose for themselves. So now, they over the process. Now, these same Pookies and Ray Rays, as they call them, oh, they're getting all the benefits. They're getting exactly what they want from these sisters. They ain't trying to get married. So why are these women having sex with them? That shit's still on the table, because at the end of the day, the women control their bodies, because that's what they asked for. They asked for the control over their body. So, in turn, don't they control if the bad man get the sample? I feel like that makes sense. Because what you're saying is, if you really think about what you're saying is, the men should be there to protect the women. That's what you're saying. So, in turn, what you're saying is, the women ain't supposed to be over this process. At the end of the day, I know you're trying to, you know what I'm saying, get the women out, you know what I'm saying, but at the end of the day, the consequences going to come from the women. If these men are bad dudes, they have low integrity, all these bad things, right? The only people that can get them the consequences are the women. The best way to punish these men for being bad dudes, stop having sex with them. Very simple. You don't want to marry me? You don't want to up your standards of character? You don't got no morals and values? You don't got no nice job? You don't got no pension plan, no insurance, no upward trajectory in life? Scram. I'm not dealing with no man that's doing that, right? That's the ultimate punishment. The men stop getting what they want. But, again, it's on the men that ain't getting what they want to correct the bad men. Because what y'all really telling us is, y'all want the men who not getting what they want to try to force the bad men that they want to have sex with to be more like the men that they don't want. That's what you're saying. See how dumb that shit sound? That shit sound dumb. Because at the end of the day, she got control over her body.